Hello. Be very quiet. It's not Wabbit season, it's earnings season. Guys, hello and welcome and hello. Thank you for joining me on this very special live episode of Poco Moss, the show where we give you just a little bit more. My name is DannyDealz. For the entire cast of characters here at Poco Moss, which would include Hurricane Lopez, Stock Karen, and many, many others in a supporting role. I'd also like to thank the Academy. Um, what are we going to talk about, guys? I mean, come on. Let's get serious. We're going to talk SoFi. As you all know, unless you've been living under a rock, and even if you have been living under a rock, if that rock gets internet access, you know that SoFi has earnings coming out pre-market on Monday. So 0 days left till Christmas, guys. This is it. The jig is up. And I actually would submit to you that this earnings report, because SoFi at least ostensibly is heading toward a gap net profit this current quarter that we're in. Remember, guys, we're already a third of the way through Q4. And I have to think that if Noto and Lapointe and company were looking at the numbers from, Q3, and they were, have gone from almost 100% confident, it would seem from their public remarks, that they're going to go ahead and make a profit, a gap net profit in Q4. I would think they would warn by now. Of course, if they give negative guidance with this ER, the stock is going to absolutely get hammered. But I just want to tell you what I'm looking for in this ER in terms of the positive side, the negative side, what we can make of the price action, what's likely to happen over the short term. And I think most importantly, how does this all set up for Q4? Because that's kind of where Noto and management have been leading us, targeting us. And I think, I said yesterday, I think Noto is slow playing this a little bit. I think he's flummoxed and, frustrated. He was buying shares above 10. I think he feels this company, he has a vision for this company. This thing is his baby. I think he's going to make this his life's work. And I think he's going to be at SoFi for some time into the future, unless SoFi were to get acquired or another company were to see his execution and see, this. Remember, this is the guy's first CEO job. And I mean, to say that his performance has been impressive, I think, is quite an understatement. But I wanted to give you a couple of the positive things I'm looking for, a couple of the things I'm bearish about, a couple of things I'm watching out for that I want to see management kind of get a lid on, get a tourniquet on. I've got my notes from the whiteboard. I've just been writing frantically like a psychopath. Trying to just make sense of what's going on here, guys. But I'm just going to tell you what I'm looking for. Of course, I am bullish the SoFi stock. I'm bullish the ER. I'm looking for 625,000 new members minimum. I'm looking for, what am I looking for, guys? Let me go to the notes. Let me just actually go to the notes. I'm looking for $3.6 billion in deposit growth, bank deposit growth. I'm looking for a 3-cent loss in terms of EPS. Boom. Mic drop. Done. Live stream over. Brevity is the soul of wit, as they say. And here at Poco Moss, we give you neither brevity nor wit, but we give you plenty of it. We serve it up with a side of fries. And if you don't want that, you can pay an extra $3. Get that side salad. Get you that side salad upgrade, right? Like, I'm going to pay to upgrade to a salad? What, are you kidding me? Did you not study economics? That's a downgrade. That's a downgrade when you're, Chunky Monkey. But anyway, guys, Chunky Monkey's not just an ice cream. It's also a YouTube host, a.k.a. DannyDealz. But I don't know if anybody's here, and frankly, I don't care. I'm only doing this live stream because I'm just pent up with rage, frustration, angst. Not really, guys. It's just, the price action's been very frustrating because this stock is trading like some kind of extremely volatile, risky penny stock, SPAC scam, and the numbers just say the opposite. The numbers are so boring and reserved that, that they can be a little bit frustrating on that side. The growth is so measured, they're so conservative with their lending. Um, Galileo, like, we don't really know what the plan is there. It's very opaque. Now, we know it has promise, but and that'll bring me in when I talk about dilution. That's kind of going to bring me into that's the only thing I'm kind of concerned about with SoFi is, can the stock based compensate? Can the actual earnings get out ahead of all the dilution? And God forbid more acquisition. Now, of course, acquisition can be a very good thing. It can be a huge boondoggle. It just depends. So, let's see who's here, guys. It looks like we have 6 people in the house. Roland Dubs, what's up, Roland Dubs? Good to see you, my friend. Always takes the time to leave a comment, which I really do appreciate. Um, Turd Army of 2. What's up, M. Russo 215? Jabroni and Wes are both here. So I'm going to count that as 2 viewers, guys. That's 7 viewers because Wes and Jabroni came together. Jellybone. What's up, Jellybone? Thanks for being here. Carlos Rodriguez. What's up, buddy? M. Russo bought again today. M. Russo buys the stock. Yeah, I noticed that, but I thought that was because they usually report it on the first of the next month, and that came on like the last business day of that, so it was like a month after the quarter. But I looked for the numbers on the FDIC. There's like a lookup tool. You can look up the bank and see their latest submissions and their latest deposit numbers. And as of this morning, it had not updated. I'm sure Jason Joseph, he doesn't like, yeah, I mean, Jason Joseph, a man with 2 first names, who am I to argue? The nicknames just kind of write themselves. But yeah, I mean, I'm bullish. I'll tell you exactly why I think that, Jason Joseph. Um, I'm not just going to leave you hanging. I'm not just going to make that prediction. I'm going to tell you why I think Q3, which kind of comprise the summer months, are going to be very, very good. I was reading an article actually about how the economists and even the IRS are missing like all the gig workers, all the creators, all the influencers, and that these people are quite likely to be SoFi customers and that their income is quite likely to be weighted toward the summer. They're quite likely to not pay like estimated taxes, so they get hammered in Q2. And savings in Q2 were very, very good. Now, I think we've reached a critical mass where deposits are going to start compounding not only on themselves, but the new deposits we're bringing in. And with interest rates just going up, I noticed SoFi just raised to 4.6 for what they're paying their customers. I rechecked some of the big banks and they're still basically at 0. So I think the flight from big banks to places like SoFi and SoFi in particular is only likely to accelerate. And Jason Joseph, that's just one of the reasons I think that, but I do appreciate the comment. I don't know that it's guaranteed not to happen because who was expecting, I just like saying Jason Joseph, who was expecting, what was this? 584. What was so special about Q2? I mean, the interest rates are higher now. There's taxes. Everybody gets hammered in April. It drives down savings. Um, Mid 500s. Yeah, I wouldn't mind mid 500s, Jason Joseph, because honestly, that would be the best quarter besides the last one was 523. So that's how great 584 was. They broke their quarterly record by what is that? 60,000 member ads. So yeah, 550 would not be bad at all. I mean, anything over 5 would look really solid. But the problem with graphs, guys, and the people who know numbers, the people who know graphs. The problem with that is if this is kind of a small number, it's going to look really bad on the graph, and they're going to have to hire some graphic artists to reformat and rebugger this thing to make it look good. But Galileo counts, guys. Another critical element. Another Doug, the new floor is at 690. Yeah, Doug, I don't want to talk about it. No, I do. That's why I'm here. Loaded up. The new stadium scares me this earnings season. If you lower guidance, you get destroyed. Yeah, I agree with you, Tom. Um, yeah, I mean, it was strong today, you could say, but again, guys, I mean, I don't mean to belabor this point, but since August 2nd, days to cover was like 3.6. And if you look at the stock price being marched down, even after the pump and dump, basically from that 10 level, the days to cover has basically moved in an inverse relationship with the stock price. And days to cover is now all the way up from 1.5 to 3.2. Utilization in the last 7 days is up 16% to 36. Now, this gets into will the stock short squeeze? Is a short squeeze, other than in your tidy whiteys, folks? That's the only short squeeze you've seen lately. Is a short squeeze possible? Probable. It's not going to be a short squeeze like a Carvana, of course, or a GameStop or something like that, because those stocks are shorted at like 60%. SoFi's only got a short free float 13%, but I'll introduce an absolutely harebrained cockamamie concept that I made up, I dreamed up. It's called false float, guys. False float sounds good because, much like Jason Joseph, false float starts with the same two consonants, so it's fun to say, and you want to say it over and over. False float, false float. What do I mean by false float? Like, there's this, you know, why do people want institutional investors? They stabilize a stock. They're not subject to the whims, the machinations of the market makers. You don't dump. You don't panic sell if you're an institution, because you don't have stop losses. You're not subject to stop loss raids. You're not subject to so many of the frailties that the average sort of retail investor is, and that's, you're basically easily manipulated, easily led, easily scared, easily excited. Um, it's just so easy for these guys to kind of push the stock around and therefore push the sheep around. And that's just how these things work. Now, as far as false float, my theory is this: like, a lot of the weak hands have been pushed out. You have major capitulation events on the chart. So, does this look horrible, guys? Is this a horrible breakdown below the channel, below support? Um, it's really hard to say, because obviously, um, I don't want to see the stock drop below this channel. I mean, I didn't want to see the stock repeatedly rejected at the 50-day moving average either, but all these days are borrowing, guys. It is not retail dumping. That's what I mean by false float. Like, they say the SoFi cult, the SoFi cult is not a cult. The SoFi cult sees value. Yeah, you don't want to be married to your stocks. You don't want to go, hey, I'm never selling till 50, whatever the case. But let's face it, a lot of SoFi investors, even if the stock pumps a bit, they're not going to sell and help shorts cover. That's what I mean by false float. Is the float assumes these shares are all readily available in the market, I think, to a certain degree, when they calculate, days to cover, availability, because a lot of these brokers are going to loan your shares whether you like it or not. Now, I've locked mine at SoFi. I've locked mine everywhere I can lock them. Some places you can't really lock your shares. Others you can, but I know you can at SoFi. You can at some other places. I have both. So, um, anyway, they pay you such a tiny percentage of the borrow fee that it's really not worth it to me, and it just gives me some certain satisfaction. I think I'm, sticking it to the man or whatever. Let's see. Yeah, I am a half glass full kind of guy, because that's just how I invest. Like, I don't generally short stocks. Like, sometimes I hedge a little bit. I don't do that much with options. I do have a lot of leaps on SoFi and a lot of leaps on other stocks, but I'm not doing like a lot of short term options, no day trading, nothing like that. So I don't really look at it like looking at the glass half full. I just try to look at the reality of the company, and the fundamentals here are very, very good. Like, this is a lender. At the end of the day, they're a bank, they're a lender, they have a technology side. I think the valuation is very, very low, considering where they've come in the last couple of years and where they're going. If you're like, okay, it's a very rich valuation. That's one of the things you constantly hear basically buy the shorts. And let me sort of stick to my notes here, guys. Just that's just my thoughts on false float. I think a lot of retail shares are just not for sale, period. Those shares are off the market, and I think that throws off a lot of the math in terms of the the short math you see on a lot of these websites such as Ortex. Basically, deposit growth, if you're going to basically get better than Q2, we've been stuck in sort of this rut as far as EBITDA. Um, and you can see that again in last quarter's investor presentation. Where the hell's EBITDA? I've read this thing so many times. I should have worn out the pages by now, but since it's on a computer, doesn't really work that way. Where was EBITDA? I missed it. Here it was. Quarterly adjusted EBITDA. We hear so much about, EBITDA, incremental EBITDA margins, but if you really look at this thing, guys, like, okay, Q2 last year, 20 million, Q3, 44, and then Q4 of last year, we we're at 70 million, and then 76 and 77 the last 2 quarters. So, again, this is not the best graph if you want to sell the growth story. So, why do I think these gig workers are basically going to front load? And why do I think a lot of them are SoFi customers? These are young, mobile people. They're not necessarily tied to an office. They're out there doing things. They're out there creating content. Maybe they're wedding planners. Maybe they're real estate agents. But I think a lot of their income is going to be front loaded in Q3. I think Q2 was tough with the tax payments, but if you're a waitress, if you're a bartender, if you're a tour guide, if you're an interior decorator, an entertainer, I think a lot of your income is going to come in that, July, August, September months. Let's face it, SoFi has a lot of customers in California. I've seen people try to break down geographically where SoFi sort of customers and profits are kind of. I've seen people try to do it on YouTube. I'm not going to undertake anything so cerebral, but basically, what am I looking for in this ER? What are the big question marks? What are the big points of contention? Um, Guys, what's going on? Sorry, I can't read all the comments. I'm trying to kind of stay somewhat on task with my hamster brain, thinking. Yeah, tax season write-offs, taxes impact everything when you're talking about like people who are self-employed, people who are independent contractors, people that are, like I said, gig workers make up a huge amount of it. And people think of gig workers like, oh, you're just Uber driving, but this also encompasses a lot of other people, whether, like I said, whether it be like a personal trainer, a wedding planner, these could be high income SoFi customers, but much of their income could be loaded into those summer months. And I just really don't think people consider that. But I think people like Noto and LaPointe do, because I think they're so far inside the numbers. I think they're far more sophisticated in their analysis, how they use data analytics than most executive teams. And I think that's borne out in their success, again, under very, very challenging conditions. But basically, I think there's little doubt that we're going to see strong deposit growth, and I believe we're going to see even stronger member growth than last quarter. I think what's driving people to SoFi at the current time are those interest rates, the difference between their big bank, whatever they were getting, and what SoFi is offering. I think it's very convenient. I think also Q3, everybody who's looking at student loans restarting, that's putting a lot of eyes on SoFi in general, which I think will lead to more people. And people are like, I think people don't, a lot of people perhaps don't understand the nature of a high income borrower and how they utilize credit and why they have a very low likelihood of defaulting. There was just article after article coming out saying, people are using credit to survive. People are stretching their available credit past where it should be. And I believe that to be true, but I think a lot of the things and again, I'm one of these people, I'm one of the Karens that would complain, SoFi is going too slow, SoFi is too conservative, SoFi's reserve ratios are too conservative, their projections are too conservative, their guidance is too conservative. Why aren't they going for the throat? Why aren't they going for growth at all costs? Why aren't they taking advantage of these high interest rates to grab every single customer they can and just grow, and just sort it out later. Like, this is the opportunity. Strike while the iron's hot. But then, boom, what do you know? Noto's a lot smarter than DannyDealz. And there's storm clouds on the horizon. You know, he sees it coming. Yes, he's giving the rosy projections earlier in the year on inflation, saying, you know, interest rates might even come down this year. Of course, that didn't come to pass, but that's not going to scare me because I still think management is solid. I still think customers are solid. So SoFi customers earn, invest, and save. And credit is sort of the mechanism you utilize on a day to day, on a monthly basis. And then, you know, a lot of people, high income earners, some of them, yes, are on salary, and some of them I just discussed, their income might be seasonal, their income might be bonus based, their income might be project based. So if they're getting paid, they might utilize credit and then they might pay it off earlier. They might utilize it longer for one period. And a lot of people, you know, these are a lot of people that also have home equity lines. They're not just going to default and get foreclosed on. And these are people that can't just ruin their credit. They can't just walk away and default on a loan because it's going to destroy your credit for a long time. And think about trying to get a loan right now. Look at how high the rates have gotten. This is the worst time to destroy your credit because this is when you need it. And SoFi, thankfully for us investors, they only loan to people who don't need the money. That's really the key to these sort of top tier cream of the crop loans. Is SoFi really loans based? SoFi has a little bit different way that they loan money out, and that's why their defaults are so low. They don't just look at FICO scores. They look at free cash flow of their borrower. They look at your actual expenses. This is where their algorithms and their, you know, fancy computers and all that stuff actually work. And at least so far, I mean, it's been borne out that the weakness other borrowers, or excuse me, other lenders and stuff showed in Q2 did not bleed over into the SoFi borrower. Let's see who's here. Anybody have any interesting things to say? Um, so that's one thing I'm looking for is, will that deposit and member growth that I'm pretty confident that we're going to see, will that lead to an increase in EBITDA and break through this EBITDA plateau that we're seeing here? Because we see really nice revenue growth, adjusted net revenue growth in the last quarter from Q1 to Q2, almost $29 million in net revenue growth, which only led to a $1 million increase in EBITDA. And you know, you had the same EBITDA margin, so it leads me to believe there's, you know, something else going on behind the scenes that are probably in these numbers down here. But I'm not going to read this thing. I've already read this thing blue in the face a few months ago. But I just wanted to point out that, like, the growth story needs to start a new chapter Monday. We need this, like, you know, the guy in Princess Bride, the grandfather, like, you want me to read it or not? Like, you know, he's like, wait, Princess Buttercup's like, hey, listen, you want me to read it? I gotta go make another Columbo movie. I need the money. He's like, but Grandpa. He's like, aren't you Fred Savage? He's like, yes. He's like, you got 40 times more money than me and you're 6 years old. Shut up. Um, anyway, guys, excuse me, sir, just one more thing. Anyway, I forget what I was talking about, guys. My stupid notes, but that's really, we have to see it, guys. I mean, they're trying to balance profitability with growth. I know personally, I would just screw the share price, grow at all costs while these interest rates are high, and you know, let God sort them out. Buy the bottom. I mean, if people don't believe, then get out and go to safety. You know, you can go get 5% on a 10-year bond. Knock yourself out. I still don't believe SoFi investors. SoFi savers, I don't think they're switching over to bonds. Young people just, I didn't, of course, I didn't look up the statistics on this like everything else, but I just don't think the SoFi customer, the sort of young, tech friendly customer, I just don't think they're buying bonds, and just, I think they're fine with the, you know, 4.6 rate. I don't think they're looking for every penny, but I don't think they want to make zero. I think the convenience, the lifestyle, the wheel strategy, you know, and that brings me to the next thing. Sorry, all my thoughts are just completely disjointed and illogical, but you know, that's why you tune in, right? Cross selling. We need to see an increase. We have to see an increase in cross selling. That leads to lower customer acquisition cost. Um, and we have to start to see that if we're going to make a profit, because we're seeing dilution in the form of stock based compensation every single quarter, and it is not insignificant. I remember Noto last quarter said, oh, it's going to be like 70 million. And at the current share price, that would have been like 8 million shares or something. And that's so it's not quite 1% dilution. And that goes down a little bit every, like I say, every single quarter because the company is getting bigger and bigger, and theoretically that stock-based compensation is not getting larger and larger, and supposedly over time it's actually going to get smaller. Um, I'll believe that when I see it. But this company's used a little bit like a piggy bank, and that's kind of the nature of the SPAC. You get the SPAC vampire shares, the SPAC sponsors get shares. They're never going to sell us poor saps $10 shares that are actually worth $10. They're going to try to sell us $10 shares that are worth $6 or $4, or in the case of PaySafe, like 2 cents or whatever it is. But a lot of these SPACs are just garbage. And thank God SoFi wasn't one of those. But the SPAC vampires get millions of free shares. The founders get all these free shares. They don't put in any money. Joe Sixpack, you, me, and Dupree, we put in all the money. And then most of the time we get screwed, and these things drop way down, and then institutions are able to load at 4 or 3 or 2 or 1 or whatever it is. And it's just the way Wall Street works. They wring money out of retail, and so the SPAC is the most perfect vehicle to just take a bunch of money from retail, put it into a pot where you have no control. These guys, they're just so altruistic. Like Chamath, he's so helpful. Like most of the guy's company's been absolute dog shit. I think he picked a winner in SoFi. I think he has, decent vision. I'm not saying the guy's a bad person, but these guys were selling us bucket loads of dog shit during the COVID money craze, and everybody was buying it because, it just, like I said, guys, Hylian. That stock went to like 40 or 50 bucks. It's 50 cents now or something, 60 cents. They had a tilt up warehouse in some dusty part of West Texas where they made, they had a design for like a hybrid powertrain. This was going on. This company's worth nothing. At one point, their founder was like the youngest billionaire in the United States. And like literally, they had some warehouse in some dusty office park somewhere. They made some, it's ridiculous. It was ridiculous. But out of that carnage, out of that chaos, out of that vampire SPAC bullshit, a hero emerges. And his name is Anthony Noto. You thought I was going to say DannyDealz, didn't you? I gotcha. I'm no hero, folks. I don't want to be a hero. I'm like Charles Barkley. I don't even want to be a role model. Like, I just want to give you a bunch of nonsense about SoFi and move on. So stock-based compensation, guys, it's a problem. Dilution, especially if you're going to continue to do acquisitions. That's further dilution. The SPAC vampire shares, you're diluted almost before you start, because when you buy the SPAC, all these shares get added on that these people don't even buy. The suits, the corner office turds. That's why, the SEC, I think, looks with a scant eye at the whole SPAC phenomenon. They don't like it. And frankly, a lot of them I wish I'd have stayed away. But I was, frankly smart enough to dump some of these shitbox companies, Lucid, and I did own a few shares of Hylian. I made a bunch of money. Some of these I did lose. I don't know why I bought some of these companies. Just an idiot. Like, the COVID pandemic and all the sort of the psychological trauma of life changing and life being over, which didn't actually, come to pass. But man, was there a lot of FUD around that time. Anyway, so back on with the big question marks for the ER. Let me touch base with you people. Let me take your temperature. Let me put on my rubber glove. Let me introduce you to my good friend Ben Dover. He's like, Ben, nice to meet you, Victor Hugo. Oh, Fletch lives. What a romp. Let's see here. Who else is here? Loaded the Jan 25 15 calls. Wow. Okay, that's an aggressive play, man, at 15. Not sure I love that play, Carlos. I like the $10 play. Tax season write-offs impacted the price action. How so, Gam Gam? Please tell us, because I don't really know anything. Guess we missed the nerd convention in Vegas this weekend with Amit and the boys. Come on, man. Give Amit a break. I like Amit. He's really one of the best guys on Palantir. Yes, he's a huge bull, but the guy's smart. I mean, I'll give him that. He's a smart guy, and his analysis is good. I mean, yeah, he's a little bit distracting up on the upper left box, but I like Amit. I love SoFi Weekly. And actually been watching Tavis a lot. His fundamentals of investing. His shows are really good too. Like I spend way too much time watching all the guys from SoFi Weekly. I spend probably 50 or 60 hours a week watching Tanner's content. No, not really, guys. I barely have time to make my own content. I want to get the hell out of here. I actually have a little more work to. I know my chair is squeaking. This is like my 5th chair. I know it's squeaking. I don't care. Watch something else if you don't like the squeaky chair. Turds. Galileo, as I was saying before, guys, big question marks. Galileo, detailed roadmap. How are we going to make money? When are we going to make money? I know you can't say who you're talking to about contracts or proposals, but give us a profile. Would there be something, give us a profile of who the customer is, how much you could expect to make over, the year, the life, whatever it is, how do the contracts, give us something. Galileo's like this black box. It's like, oh, Galileo, Technesis, best of breed, blah, blah, blah. RFP, like, you paid $2 billion of our money. Nodo? Give us the 411, need the info. Leader dude here. Power Moves Trading. Swole in the house. What's up, buddy? Future Swole Noto. The guy's huge. The guy is absolutely huge. So he might be on a cycle. No, I don't know. I doubt it. I have a concept. I'm gonna pair up with Firehouse Pete, and we're gonna start a line of sub sandwich and pizza restaurants where we launder money for firemen that run illegal general contracting businesses on the weekend and on their 5 days off per week. So there's so many billions in fireman side gig untaxed money that no, I'm just kidding. If the IRS is listening, I am not doing any such thing. I didn't see Firehouse Pete, but he's probably working. He's probably saving lives. So what's up, buddy? Big up to all the firemen, all the first responders out there. He's NY Fire Department in New York City. Carlos, Jason, compared to the market, SoFi, I completely agree with you. I agree with you, Jason Joseph. Jason Joseph, this guy is like starched collar and just a ton of logic. I mean, yeah, the valuation is dog shit. Like the good analysts have the stock 15, 16 bucks. Even the bears, the good analysts who are bears are at like 12. I mean, come on. Come on. Guys, we're at under 7. Come on. It's like earnings. Like, come on. Like you think like I said, what is the actual data shown the weakness in SoFi? Like everything is contagion. Everything's the macro. But the world's not ending, guys. The US economy continues to be too strong. It continues to push inflation. We see decent earnings. Like we're just not seeing the economy. It doesn't want to fall apart. The US economy coming out of COVID is just extremely strong. Now we made really bad fiscal decisions, printed way too much money. That gave away all these fraudulent, PPP loans and just endless bullshit. But the American economy, the American worker, the American company, like everything's okay, guys. These wars so far, I mean, God, they're very worrying. They're very troubling. Humanitarian crisis, has that had a big effect on SoFi? I don't believe so. I just think all of the FUD they're slinging at SoFi, I think they're going to turn in a surprisingly very strong ER. I think we're talking about a B plus ER easily. I think it's going to be better than last time. I think we're going to move the needle on EPS. Like they're looking for 8 cents, guys. If we hit 8 cents, if we just meet that, we're screwed. Like we're going to sell off. We're going to sell off like, I don't know, like a talking Elmo doll, like Christmas 2004, whatever the hell that was. Jason Joseph, I can't deal with the volume of comments. Yeah, I agree. I love SoFi, Jason Joseph. I use the app constantly. I put everything on SoFi. I have a lot of investments at SoFi, even though the investments are a little bit hobbled. I like that because I set it and forget it. I leave the stuff there. I don't have any options. I can't even write covered calls. I would love to be able to write covered calls, but I don't. That is the one thing I don't worry about SoFi. Yeah, I completely agree with you. They have the best borrowers, the best quality, and that's also why you shouldn't worry about whether or not they can sell the loans above the par value. Turds. I don't even know exactly what par value is. I know parboiled them taters. Noto focused on quality. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And he had the vision. He knew rainy days come. DannyDealz is, go, bull. Um, Mopar for life is here. I believe that's the same as the dude who has like 5.7. It's the same picture. I believe he's also on StockTwits, or else a lot of people have a picture of his Jeep. Don't be using picture of his Jeep. So many opportunities out there. Flip bank savings account, almost everyone. Yeah, because there's so many people getting zero. We have so much market share to take. We only need like a tiny percent of it. Baltimont, hello. Hello, good sir. How are you? Jason Joseph, SoFi being a SPAC created an amazing opportunity. Yeah, I completely agree with you. But I'm just saying they try to make those SPACs, I think, ultimately screw over the retail investor. But SoFi is one where I think we kind of got over on him. And I think a lot of retail investors were buying the lows. But I think that's a rare thing. But I think you guys are smarter than the average bear. You're certainly smarter than old DannyDealz. Old DannyDealz, he don't know nothing. Oh, come on now, lady. Like, what's up, manager? He's back. The big manager. The big bull. Being a SPAC. Yeah, I agree. I already read that. I bust balls, admit it's good. Yeah, totally, man. I bust balls too. Like, it's not, I don't, I'm sure they don't take it personally what we think. Like, they're like the big leagues. I'm playing rookie ball. I'm playing rookie ball somewhere in rural Alabama. Hey, we drew 34 fans for hot dog night. We had them 50-cent dogs. It's chicken hot dog. It's not a bad hot dog. It's chicken Frank. It's not a beef Frank. We're not going to be able to give you a beef Frank at 50 cents. Come on. Don't lose your head. Don't even buy them down at the Walmart. Um, I don't know what the hell's happening with my $4 Chinese computer. Um, Beach Boy. Yeah, even the Chia Pet did shut up. I don't think anybody wants to put, and I was going to talk about that a little bit, guys. Like, um, if you actually look at like the history, Q1 was at a similar level coming into earnings. They're like 650, and they just destroyed the stock, obviously, in the Chia Pet. I think this is right here, actually. Yeah, this is right here. April 28th. This is the Chia Pet dump right there, guys. And then it trades sideways. Then we have that huge pump to 10, sideways again, pumps up to 950. Like, this thing is sold off. Like, the ER was terrible. Like, the growth story is completely destroyed. And frankly, the opposite is true. SoFi keeps performing and performing and performing. What are you guys looking at as far as the ER? What are your predictions? Some of you smart people. How about some of you engineers? Where's CMB Chang when you need him? He's also CC Carr. Like, he's Carr. He might be Derek Carr except Derek Carr, former Raider, is dumb as a bag of rocks. So I don't think he could possibly be running his own engineering company. I don't understand why all you intelligent people even watch the show. Perhaps a little bit of levity. But anyway, guys, what are your predictions? Like I care. I'm crossing things off my notes. Oh yeah, I had something kind of funny to say. It's really not that funny, but I wrote it down on this piece of paper. So, anyway, so I was like, when you talk about shorting, like, they're shorting valuation or they're shorting macro. They're not shorting execution. They're not shorting growth. They're not shorting management. You don't short Anthony Noto. You don't short Anthony Noto. I will pound on the table and I will say that. Remember when that chipmunk, he's like, I forget that asshole's name. Let's see. Where was that little fucker? Dominic Gabriel from Oppenheimer. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he looks like some kind of chipmunk. Looks like he stuffed like dental gauze in his cheeks and took that picture. He's so shiny. I thought DannyDealz was shiny. Let me tell you, these bright lights, they're not easy. And an idea hits you, bop. You got to jump on it. But I remember this guy. He was the actual guy who like killed one of the SoFi rallies. He's like, the stock's overheating. He's like, basically, it's my job to kill the rally. So I'm going to come out and downgrade to 8. Look, he doesn't even have a price target. He doesn't have anything. Look at some of these fucking turds, you guys. Like, this unknown analyst. Who's this guy? How are you going to make fun of this guy? How are you going to make fun of his appearance or his history or anything? He's unknown. They had a picture up there. They're like, oh, DannyDealz is going to get a hold of this poor sap. Look at this hairline. Michael Perito. Looks like he's like a stand-in. They're adjusting lighting for like a Joe Pesci movie. Look at that smirk. Yeah, Michael Perito, I see you. I see you working. Nah, you're good. You're 5-star analyst. Probably a hell of a lot smarter than me. You better be with that mug. Oh God, I get annoyed, guys. I get so annoyed. But then you look at the Chia Pet, like he changed his rating. I saw the notes. Wedbush put out a PR. They went from sell to neutral. They didn't even upgrade it because he didn't change the price target and he downgraded his EPS. It's an ungrade. It's an ungrade. I'm going to pound the table. But my point back to Dominic Gabriel with Oppenheimer is he came out and he's like, but when the stock was $5 and it was undervalued, I was pounding the table. I saw his interview where he gave this little like thing about how the stock was overheated and it's his job to slow it down. I think he came out with another, I think with Morgan Stanley maybe and did another bullshit little note on the SOFI stock. Little hit piece. Little slow down that I don't like. It's just getting away from me. Little 500,000 tons of steel built to roam. The brakes don't work and this grade's so steep, the engine is sure to blow. Dominic Gabriel, so he's like, when it was low, I was pounding on the table saying the SoFi stock's undervalued. Well, I went back and I went through LexisNexis and many other sources, and I can tell you that little Weasley turd never pounded on the table because none of these analysts besides Touchdown Dan Dolev, the big one-star analyst here who, I don't know, he looks like he's, perhaps selling stereos in Manhattan. I don't know what this guy's doing, but looks like he might have been an extra in You Don't Mess with the Zohan or something with Adam Sandler. God, what a movie. They just put hummus on everything, like brush their teeth with hummus. I don't know. I don't know who wrote that script, but give them a raise. Like, who are the ad wizards who came up with this one? Like, no, that is incorrect. But anyway, guys, I completely forget what my point is. But basically, these analysts are complete garbage. Like, like I was going back to the note, look how silent the Chia Pet is. Look how silent all these guys are. They put on these little Weasley upgrades, unknown analysts. What is this, the unknown comic? What are you going to come out and insult everybody? I mean, even the bears, guys, like Michael Perito, this was meant to be a bearish take, but he still has like a 10% upside on the stock. Maximum Pain was supposed to be 750. They kept the stock under $7. They killed all the options. They killed a few of their own. But sometimes you eat your own, guys. Sometimes that's how things go. Is there anything else we want to cover, guys? I think that free cash flow model is going to be very important. I agree with Jason Joseph. They have the best underwriting models. They have the best technology. And that's why they just opened up that corporate facility where they're going to let everybody utilize their, de-risking, AI or whatever it is. But guys, this is critical. I thought they were going to bend a little bit, but they didn't bend at all. They're like the longs hedged with shorts and the naked shorts naked shorted. The naked shorts got with Frank the Tank and they went streaking through the quad. They're going to KFC. Honey, you think KFC's still open? She's like, was it cold out there, Frank? Frank the Tank, what a classic character. Yeah, Jason Joseph. Who is this Jason Joseph? I know I've seen him here before, but I always love a man with two first names. Dude, since his NASCAR career didn't work out, I firmly believe he has a future in stock analysis. At least I would, if not a lurker's not around, I will put him second in command of my entire enterprise. That's a kind of bold decision that I make. I will be selling goes up above 11. Yeah, I hear you, man. You gotta take some profits. You could have bought back in at 7. I mean, manager knows. The guy's got a 3-letter name. Why he abbreviates his YouTube name. That's how efficient this guy is. Talk about efficiency. They're like, put in your YouTube name. He's like, I don't have time for this shit. I'm a very important man. MGR period, motherfucker. Full stop. Fucking people. Not manager, but like people who question why he abbreviated that. I see some weird comments like, why did you do this? Why did you do that? Why ask why? Try bud dry. Go fuck yourself. Let other people do whatever they want. Say whatever they want. I don't care. As long as you don't say like stupid, racist, like crazy shit, violent, just keep it real. Like you can say real stupid things. Obviously, if you didn't like stupid, you wouldn't be here, but my point is just keep it civil, guys. That's all we ask. Keep it civil. Keep it real. You can be funny, you can be insulting, whatever, but just keep it reasonable, please. Who's here, guys? I think is there 73 people here? Wow, no, 66 people here. I don't know exactly how to tell who's here. But anyway, there's a lot of people commenting. So Corey Pichel, a retracted message from Corey Pichel. Well played, sir. Rein it in, Corey. Rein it in. You could be the third Corey. I love the two Corys. Third Corey, you put Pichelle in there, forget about it. I think one of the Corys died though, so that's unfortunate. Um, Good evening, DannyDealz. Buying the shit out of SoFi. Hybrid Duncan is a hybrid of a fucking badass and a killer. That's what I'm telling you. Mikkel Hagen. How are we going to get a pump in the market crash though? Because Mikkel Hagen, this is not like a Meta and Microsoft with hundreds of billions. It's going to pump if they want to pump it. How's it going to pump? Market makers are going to start flooding money into it. This is not that big a stock. I mean, even today it was supposed to be a huge day. I mean, they only traded like 45 million. When the algo was like churning this thing big time, keeping it on the bottom, just wringing the shit out of retail with a bulldozer, it used to trade 60, 70 million shares on a routine day. Then it went all the way down to like 17 million, 18 million. They do whatever they want with this stock. I described it yesterday, and Firehouse Pete would appreciate this, being the gentleman that he is and the scholar, because I'll tell you, because we're trying to put out fires with Dixie cups, little tiny cups of water. Reminds me that I'm a bit parched. In any case, guys, it's not that easy to spew just gibberish and verbal diarrhea for like this long straight. Also want to send a big I love you to Princess J. She was just absolutely the fucking best. She has to put up with me and listen to this stuff like all the time. Can you guys imagine? Any normal person would go insane. That's why she is the best person on earth. And I love you, baby. You're probably not watching this because, like I said, you have way too much common sense. You have better things to do. You have a business to run, a life to lead. Anyway, guys, Princess Jade. Mwah. And anyway, Mikkel Hagen, I'm not going to kiss you, but I am going to read your comment. So basically, it's going to pump if they want to pump it. Like, if the ER is really good, it would naturally go up a bit from this level. It's not going to go up to like 10 or something because you're right, because the macro's dragging the shit out of it. And bonds are putting pressure on things, just putting pressure on the overall market. I mean, Mikkel Hagen, I'm not here to tell you that SoFi is immune to the overall market forces. None of us are bigger than the market, guys. I mean, that's been shown. But SoFi, even sometimes in an up market, they'll hammer it. In a down market, they might pump it. You don't know what they're going to do. I mean, they pumped it last time, and I know the macro has eroded even a bit from there, but it is absolutely conceivable that they could pump the stock from $7 on really strong growth. What if we see $4 billion in deposits? I know you guys think that's impossible, but the deposits that are sitting in SoFi have been earning 4.5%, and that's getting deposited back in. You're bringing in new deposits. You have all the new eyes coming in from student loans. If there are people refining student loans, that's going to be really good for the student loan numbers, but it's also going to be really good for the deposit numbers. It's also going to be good for the cross-selling numbers. It's also going to be good for Q4. It's also going to be good for 2024. And what's good for the goose is good for the gander, you freaking turds. Manny's weight loss is here. Guys, sorry I'm ranting. It's been like 1 foot in the frying pan, 1 foot in the pressure cooker around here. I had taxes, I had dealing with these turds and all these suits and lawyers and impressive people with multiple fancy degrees who eat only Dijon mustard, Dijon ketchups, only the fanciest ketchups. I forget what band said that. It was that band that goes, 1 week till she looked at me, crossed her eyes and said, I'm so sorry, 4 days since the living room. I believe they're also Canadians, much like my friend Tanner with Future Investing. I forget the name of the band, but they were obviously super popular. I had the one dude with like the vintage glasses, who's kind of a chubby white guy, and then had the other dude who was like, had short black hair, and they both sang and they both played guitars, and you guys know who I'm talking about. Anyway, 1 week since I look, and I was thinking like, what song like greatly encapsulates the SoFi investor, because we have so much grit, guys. When you think about the film True Grit, I think of the SoFi investor. I think of Anthony Noto, and goddamn if it doesn't bring a tear to my eye. America, or wherever you are, wherever my viewers are. No, I do love America. I'm from America. I've been in America my whole life. Intend to die here. I'm not one of those people that's like, if all this things happen and I get some money, I'm going to move right out of America. Nope. Staying right here, turds. Love me some America. Not everything we do. Not saying America's perfect. Not saying American people are perfect, but it's home to me, folks, and I love it. So that's just how I feel. I'm not like a small town country guy where if you come in, you disagree with me, I'm just going to beat you up and run you out of town. Not going to attack you. Do whatever you want. You do you, friend. You do you. I think that's the beauty of America. We don't attack each other. We don't use violence. You're allowed to say whatever the hell you want. You're allowed to do you in America. You're allowed freedom. It's chill. There's this like I like these like First Amendment auditors. A lot of these guys are just complete fucking lunatics. Um, Name a badge number. But some of them are kind of good. Like they're actually making a good point, which is police accountability and stuff like that. But some of them are just like totally misguided. But there's this one guy who's like, it's so odd. It's like so abstract. He just says like he's doing a fishing show, and I don't know where he is on YouTube. Maybe I'll try to link to it. I never link to anything because I don't. You guys go find it your fucking selves. Clearly, if you're spending an hour here, you have goddamn time to kill, don't you? I know I'm not talking that loud, folks. I'm losing my voice. I was on the phone a lot this week. I was doing a lot of different work. I had a freaking sewer line that we had to cut 3 holes in an asphalt parking lot. They got the water off right now. I got like 10 plumbers over there working, but I'm here addressing you turds because I know you're both emotionally weak, mentally unstable little girls, and I have to come on and reassure you that everything's going to be okay. Well, I can't do that because I don't know that everything's going to be okay. This turd wanted to know how it's going to pump. Well, I don't know that it's going to pump. Maybe it won't be a repeat of last quarter. Maybe it'll be, and I'm spitting all over my own computer. God damn it, I'm going to have to find that screen mom thing and that special. You got to have that special rag. You can't just clean it with your shirt. And you got to have one for the whiteboard and one for this and one for that. God, I hate society. Ugh. Can't believe I'm even making these YouTube stupid videos. How are you guys doing? No, I'm just kidding. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. I love you guys. Not really. I tolerate you. What's up, fellow turds? How's it going, Alberto? I used to have a friend in high school named Birdie. Really good tennis player. Um, Birdie Vong. He was the guy weighed like 110 pounds, but God, he could hit the ball so hard. Nice guy. Alberto, the Pimo Turd has arrived. What's up, Head Turd? I promote you officially to Head Turd, General Turd. Either way, nice pickup at 689, Mikkel Hagen. Are you some kind of Euro? What's Mikkel? Um, Alberto, what's up? You guys are talking to each other. Jason Joseph, you don't short Anthony Noto. You're goddamn right, Jason Joseph. And if you don't believe me, believe Jason Joseph. The guy has a lot of credibility, I think, because his YouTube thing is in a dress shirt, and he looks young and hip. He looks like a SoFi customer. Doesn't look like one of you old trolls who just trying to spread about, Miss Marie had me trading options, and I made $100,000 in the last 2 days. Before that, I always lost all my money. And you're like, well, where do I reach her? Well, you reach her on Telegram. Those turds who spam my channel with those Telegram chains of like 40 comments, fuck you turds. You tell Miss Marie she don't make shit. I don't know what she's doing with these stupid ads. And what's with these people who put in your comments, they're just put like tag. They like tag you with some HTML bullshit in your comments. And all of a sudden people are stealing DannyDealz identity? What's going on here, folks? I think I was doing like a accidental impression of a Daniel Tosh style rant. Kind of got going there, guys. Got a little off track. We're talking ER. We're not talking all DannyDealz mental issues. Anyway, guys, manager has the right idea. I think take some money off the table, guys. Don't be afraid. If the stock pumps 20%, God forbid 30, 40%, if we have a really great ER, the balloon always deflates, guys. SoFi is a controlled stock. It's still a tiny market cap. The algos are still in control. It's not going to hold any kind of 30, 40% gain. It's not even going to hold a 20% gain. Not in one day. Now, can it go up and down, gap back up? Absolutely. But these shorts, if the ER is surprisingly good and Noto, Noto Houdini, Tony Houdini pulls a rabbit out of his hat, escapes the straitjacket before drowning in the safe, like, we could see magic, guys. I mean, the short squeeze could happen, and I'm not talking about in your tidy whities, guys. I'm talking about in the real world. And that's what I wanted to say, guys, is when it comes to the shorts, like, it's not only important, like, that they're shorting the macro and that they're not shorting SoFi, because that's why I'm saying, how can it rally? It can rally if there's a huge surprise. I'm not saying there could be positive EPS this quarter, guys. I don't think there could. Could we see some massive increase in student loans? Could we see something just insane like 700,000 members? I think it's possible. I didn't think we'd be pushing 600,000 last quarter. Now, no, Jason Joseph disagrees with me. I generally defer to Jason Joseph. But in this instance, him and his coat of many colors. In this instance, I'm going to say anything's possible. I don't think it's inconceivable that SoFi gets 500. I think they're going to get at least 500,000 new members. They're paying an extremely competitive interest rate. They have a really good product. People really like it. Great word of mouth. Been getting some outstanding press. Organic name recognition is up. Q3, you had all those concerts at SoFi Stadium, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, and I know people are laughing at that, saying it didn't matter. You had a lot of hype around the golf thing. Just a lot of good things, a lot of good press around SoFi in Q3. Not just the stock, but the company itself, its products. I just really like Q3 a lot more than some people. I know management said Q3 don't, they tempered expectations as they always do. Don't get too excited. Noto's like, don't get too excited. I put on my best windbreaker and I'm going to give you some sober news about our adjusted EBITDA growth. So you turds, hold on to them hats and glasses while I just monotone the hell out of these numbers. Oh, it's so exciting. It's a wonder the stock hasn't run, guys. With that energy combined with me half asleep and incoherent, it's a wonder the stock doesn't run. What's up, Whale? Wait, Whale, are you here? How have you? I can't even understand you, Hybrid Duncan. You're talking nonsense. Missing you on Discord. Yeah, you must be all talking to manager. I haven't been here. Will be cool if it gets to 1445. I thought we were going to see a repeat of last quarter, manager, but where's the pump? Hey, we're more at the level we were at Q1 than at Q2. What the hell is going on, manager? Manager, please tell us. We don't know shit. I have more letters in my name, but I don't know anything. Alberto reaches 12. Yeah, I wouldn't mind flipping out at 12, guys, unless it's like a net profit. If we hit a net profit, this thing's going to short squeeze like 15. Watch. It could be epic. But I don't think it's going to happen, personally. Does anybody think it's going to hit a positive EPS? How do we get there? How could we possibly get there from last quarter with all that stock-based compensation? Because the stock-based compensation doesn't work against cash flow, but it works against the gap net profit, I believe. If somebody, again, smarter than me, even smarter than manager, if such a person's out there. I don't think you're going to get somebody smart in Jason Joseph, unless CC Bar gets here. CC Bar engineering sounds like a professional wrestler. Sounds like warm it up with a couple of self shoulder slaps, maybe a couple face slaps, back of the neck slaps. That's not a warm up, guys. Nothing professional wrestlers did is like a warm up. Just slapping yourself on the shoulder. I don't get it. You like Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, Ace Cowboy Bob Orton. Like they had the best wrestlers back in the 80s, man. That was real wrestling. Danish. Oh, cool. My older brother studied University of Copenhagen. Yeah, really like Denmark. I have never been there, but I would love to go someday. I heard it's a very beautiful place. And also it can be very cold and depressing in the winter, but anything can be cold and depressing in the winter. Not Miami Beach, but yeah, I might baby step it over to Europe, me and Princess J. That would be awesome. We're going to stay with you. Tell Mrs. Hagen I like a hypoallergenic pillow and a hearty breakfast. We'll see you soon. Just send me the address to my Friendster account. What school? Westchester County. You guys are talking to each other again. Oh my God, yeah, the parking. The parking's fucking ridiculous. We went to when the Chargers were playing at fucking Stabhab over at Stabhub Arena in Carson. I almost crapped myself. We went to the tailgate lot. It's like $100 in cash for parking. What does this come with? Come on. I mean, yeah, but I guess that's how it is. That's life in the big city, guys. 150 for parking. Bunch of freaking turds. That might be the tailgate lot or the VIP lot. Because when I went to SoFi, I think it was 50 for normal surface parking, but I can't remember. I try to take ride share because I care about the environment. I drove my Tahoe over there, getting 8 mpg with my foot buried on the floor, revving that V8 all the way. Saying, fuck the free world. What school? Okay, that's still the same thing. Yeah, when the market space manager knows the deal, you know when it gets overheated. You know the stock goes up 20%, everybody's buying, it's petering out at 11.50 or whatever. Just sell some shares, guys. Sell all your shares, whatever. Use common sense. Give this man a like. Joy Luna, amen. Joy Luna. Thank you for tuning in again, Joy Luna. And I forgot to give Joy Luna. Joy Luna sounds like you're like making some kind of health product or some kind of like self-help. It's just ideal, like Finding Yourself by Joy Luna. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Experiences with Joy Luna. I'd much rather listen to a podcast from Joy Luna than Meghan Markle. And I don't even know what Joy Luna would have to say, and I can make that call definitively. 100%. I don't even want to be famous. I don't want to be famous. I don't understand why the press is here. Oh, I have an interview? Oh, is this my... Oh, I'm going to give the interview. What? When? Now? Okay. Hello. God, these people are so fucking phony. How do you just make $100 million out of thin air? Why can't I, no offense to Princess Jay, this is a joke. Why can't I marry a royal? Why can't I marry a beautiful redheaded royal? Some kind of ginger royal and just make $100 million for no reason on some stupid book and a Spotify deal. Hello, this is Archetypes. How did I get a British accent? It doesn't make any sense. If Madonna did it, why can't I? My first guest. Oh, who is it? Oh, this is so exciting. And then it's just some absolutely horrible, dumb, like Ellen or something like, well, I don't know. I believe in LGBTQ issues. And like, you just find out like Ellen might be like a horrible person, or that's what the press says. I have no idea. Maybe she's the nicest person on earth, but anyway, I don't know. I don't want to get going on Meghan Markle. It just she's not one of my favorite people in the media because I was like, stop, being a fame whore while you curse celebrity. Kim Kardashian perfected that bit. Don't try to dress it up as an intellectual. Archetypes, where we discuss how I wrote a letter to Dawn about the fact that they didn't have men washing dishes in their commercials. And this isn't a British accent, it's just an arrogant lilt to let you know that I'm better than all of you turds. We knew that already. You were on Suits. What have I ever done? I've only been on Un Poco Moss. You were on Suits. We already know you're better than us. STFU. Sorry, guys. It is Friday. I'm just all over the place. Like SoFi stock. Okay, guys, I've gotten really far afield. Thanks, Mikkel Hagen. I appreciate it. What plug do you prefer? I don't know. I'll have to think on that. I'll have to run that by my people. Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. What about his bodyguard, Virgil? Everyone needs a shortless African American muscle bodyguard. Just makes no sense. Like, if you're a professional wrestler, why do you need a bodyguard? And why did he always have that briefcase full of money? There's so many guys like Superfly Jimmy Snuka. I mean, we had good people. Like, we had just crazy old stuff like the Ultimate Warrior, and then who was that? The tag team? They had two crazy guys from Parts Unknown with like mohawks. God, there were some great people out there. The Killer Bees. Uh, who else did we have? Want to see Ed Sheeran at SoFi. Ooh, yeah, it's not good. Why'd you go to that show? You must have some pretty little girl there. You're taking that concert in your Mopar, speeding around like a crazy person. That Trailhawk. Take it easy, brother. I don't want to have to sell any shares, bail you out of jail. Get your Trailhawk out of the tow yard. That's not how we do business around here. Slow and steady. Who was that? I believe it was CM Bar Engineering, who said, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Wiser words were rarely spoken since the days of Reese Bobby. Just a little bit more. I'm giving you way too much. It's way, way more than you ever wanted. Yeah, Sting. God, classic. I think he died in the ring somehow. Was that, or did he maybe committed suicide? I don't know. Some of these guys, they get injury. I think it's maybe the stuff that happens with football or boxers. Hacksaw Jim Duggar. Oh! He used to do that thumbs up where his thumb wasn't really up and he'd put his hand like this. Oh. Yeah, 2x4. Yeah, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Legion of Doom. Yeah, classics, man. SoFi is bobbing and weaving. What's going on after hours? Is anybody actually watching the stock, or am I just losing my effing mind? Guys, I'm going to get off this live stream. It is going nowhere fast, but that was just the gist of it. I just don't believe we're going to see the weakness that's reflected in this price action. I don't believe the macro is going to drag the stock down that much. High interest rates are good for SoFi. I just firmly believe that. It's good in different ways. The net interest income, but it's also good for drawing in member growth. Um, it just is. It's good for SoFi, and of course, it's going to be bad for home loans in terms of originations. I don't think it's going to be as bad as people think for student loans. People they keep saying people are getting sticker shock, sticker shock. Why not extend that term with SoFi and just make interest payments forever? I don't know that that's getting your money right, but I think a lot of people are going to have to do it. And I don't think those are going to be the people SoFi gives the personal loans to, but you can't go BK on student loans, guys. So you got to pay them. You pay now, you pay later. BNPL. Let's see. Thanks for the live. See you, Alberto. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. It's up 9 cents to 6.95. Thanks, manager. I appreciate it. Guys, I don't know what else to say that hasn't been said. I don't know what's going to happen, but just be disciplined. And play your game. That's the important thing. Don't get emotional. Don't panic. If they drive it up, if they drive it down, it doesn't make any difference. Look, the numbers actually matter this time, guys. Have we been able to break through that EBITDA plateau? Have we actually started cross-selling? Has Galileo done anything that can actually be measured with something other than vague generalities and bullshit? Come on, Nodo. Don't bullshit a bullshitter. You can't do that. I know what the fuck's going on. You're very welcome, Air Force. Appreciate you joining me yet again. Thank you, man. Appreciate it, Beach Boy. Thank you very much, guys. All of you. Appreciate you joining my live stream on this Friday, October 27, 2023. Will I live the earnings report? I hope so, guys. I don't even want to watch that fucking train wreck because it's going to be another good performance. It's probably not going to be a blowout, but it's going to be a conservative beat. And that unfortunately allows market makers, their cohorts, and the media analysts to form whatever narrative they want. So if they want to pump the stock, they're going to pump the stock. If they want to dump the stock, they're going to dump the stock. But play your game, buy where you want to buy, where you think that range exists, and sell if you think it gets completely irrationally overheated, which I think honestly would have to be higher than 12 if they're really on target to make that net profit. I think institutions are going to come in. I think the stock price is going to move up over 10 and stay up over 10. Like I've said about a million times, I think at net profit, the stock is worth at least $13.75 because, again, they were saying it as a negative, like, well, EPS multiple will be 200 next year. Well, it's the first fucking year they made a profit. Of course, the EPS multiple is going to be bad. They're making a tiny profit. Gone from negative to positive. That's good. Going from negative to a positive. And so then the next year will be 35. Well, that's great, actually. Going from EPS multiple of 200 to 35, whatever, that's excellent projections. And then what's the next year? What's the next year? So in a few years' time, that's what you're buying. You're buying a growth stock that also is going to be making money. It's not a usual circumstance where you get a growth stock that's going to be making money. That's a bank that has both conventional business that's going to make you money now, and it has a high-tech AWS of fintech that could make you incredibly wealthy in the future. But we don't know because we don't give financial advice. We don't have crystal balls. I did dust off my crystal balls for the last video, but then I have misplaced them yet again. It probably has something to do with that short squeeze we were talking about. But guys, I'm going to end this. I'm going to end this live stream while I still can barely talk. You guys have a great weekend. Be safe out there. We'll have to see what the ER looks like on Monday. That's all we can do. And then market makers are going to do whatever the hell they want. And all we can do is react and play the smart game. Play the long game. If you are smart and you can time things and you think the stock gets way oversold or way overbought, do what you got to do. Trade accordingly. But just make sure you know what you're doing. Never buy these goddamn short-term call options. Ever. Stop it. I hate it. Anything else? Not really, guys. Good weekend. SoFi, un poco más, giving you just a little bit more or way too much today. It's DannyDealz. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.